What is up, YouTube? THATSA here, bringing you guys an extra special video today. Today we are going to be talking about POKECHECK. It recently got updated with a ton of videos from the whole Gen 5 era of VGC. That's VGC 2011, 2012, and 13. And a lot of these videos that are going to be uploaded on POKECHECK have been pretty much lost to time. Those people that did record videos, the few, the proud that actually did record videos back then that are still around, they didn't really have capture cards, because capture cards weren't really a thing until, you know, Gen 7, when it was a lot easier for, like, you know, common people to get it. But unless you were, like, Maryland or, like, a couple people at Smogon, like, you did not have a capture card. Unless, like, you were Nintendo, you didn't have capture cards back then. So you recorded everything with digital cameras, even if you did record. So it's really cool that POKECHECK has access to all these files. And they put them up on Showdown. I don't really know how this works, but they take whatever things were uploaded as battle videos and they put them on Showdown. These aren't just Showdown replays from this time. These are things that were originally played on the actual DS that were uploaded to, like, Nintendo servers. POKECHECK somehow got them, and then they converted them into Showdown, you know, little sprite things for us to watch. And I think that's really cool. POKECHECK is a really cool website for those who don't know what it is. I could make a whole nother video on POKECHECK, but for those of us that are, like, veterans in the VGC scene, like, POKECHECK was something we used to look up info on our opponent's sets, and we're gonna talk about that right before we get into the videos here. But we're just gonna go over a brief little thing about the site. What you pretty much do is you come up here, you type in a bunch of the, like, you log in or whatever, you do, you go to filters, you can put it on videos or whatever. Right now it's set on Pokemon. You go to videos, type in a bunch of these things, like you want to search for specific Pokemon, you want to search for specific, like, trainers or items or whatever format you're playing. And then once you pretty much find your trainer ID, if you actually played videos and uploaded them to, like, the GTS or GPU back then, you know, you'll find some of your games. So we're going to look at a few of my games today. This game was played in White 2, so this is Gen 5. This is just a game that I played. I'm pretty sure I'm using, like, a really weird niche 2011 team that is transitioning into 2012. You can see the date that I played this game is January 27th, 2013. So I'm still using the leftovers from VGC 2011 because breeding was hard back then. Breeding's never been easy, it's except for it is now. But yeah, you guys get it. So actually, let's not watch this game first. Where we go? This is what I'm talking about. This is the game. Alright, so we're gonna watch this one first. We're gonna watch this game first. So, this is the one. I was looking at this other game over here, because we have a few games to show you guys. I was looking at this game, and I'm like, no, this isn't as 2011 as I remember it. This is definitely what I used in, like, 2012 and 2013. So, we're gonna actually take a look at the real 2011 games that I wanted to show you guys. This is right after VGC 2011, and I'm still using a lot of the same mods. You can see, like, this one, it says October 11th, 2012. So, like, this is probably right around the time they announced the 2012 format. So, like, that's why my opponent, you can see his name's gonna be Duke. He's using, like, Garchomp and Metagross and Weavile versus, like, he always had, like, Thundurus, that's 2011 staple, Darmanitan, Terrakion, Amoonguss, those are all 2011 staples. So, this is an older school VGC 2011 game, and one of the things, like, look, we're gonna scroll down, we're looking at some of my Pokemon. So, we're gonna look at my Darmanitan, right? Dude, I got that hasty nature. I brought this thing to regionals. Hasty nature. Let's look at my Ivies. You like that? I got perfect speed Ivies on my technically speed-natured Pokemon. And you know what? Like, breeding wasn't easy back then. Like, this Darmanitan that has 6 Ivies in defense. Man, this is terrible. But, like, I have perfect speed, and I have pretty good attack, and I'm natured. And that's about as good as you got back then. You'd be surprised how many people didn't actually use, like, perfect 6 IV Pokemon. It did well at regionals. Like, you'd be really surprised. So we're gonna look at my other mons here. This is the Zoroark. Look at this Zoroark thing. That's pretty good, actually. I got, like, I can't even complain about that. I got 4 perfect IVs. Like, that's amazing. And I have the right nature. Like, dude, sign me up. Like, attack's useless. Like, sucks on full special D, but yeah. So we're gonna look at this guy. Like, even our opponent, he has, like, a complete meta team, but, like, they're not perfect either. Like, this Thundurus isn't perfect. And is his Metagross perfect? Almost perfect. So you can see it was a different time, you know, and we're gonna showcase in this game that the meta was not nearly as developed. So if we're looking at this game, we're gonna watch it. This is a pretty funny one. I have no business winning this game. This is the perfect example of luck just carrying a player that's terrible. Because if you look at this game, it looks like I'm about to eat an earthquake and just absolutely get destroyed. And That's not what happens. I mean, it's kind of what happens. So, you see, I go for that Choice Scarf Flare Blitz on that Thundurus, and he has a Sash. And what I was thinking was, I'm going to hit this Thundurus, and it's going to die. And then what was going to happen is my Terrakion was supposed to be able to live through the Garchomp Earthquake, because I wasn't factoring in the discharge, because Thundurus was supposed to die. And instead, I lose both my Pokemon on turn 1. So I have to send out Zoroark. It's not disguised as anything. Look at this, look at this. So, I'm completely out of the game. Like, how am I going to win this one? I lost both my Pokemon turn 1. This guy's a Garchomp and a Thundurus left. And we're going to watch the magic happen. We're going to go for Rage Powder. It's going to redirect. He was already targeting that slot anyways. And Flamethrower. Now, remember, we Rage Powdered, but the game was a different game back then. Like, the things that you would think are optimal now, like, of course, all this Garchomp has to do is spam Earthquake and we lose. That's very obvious. That's the only thing he has to do to win. But it was a different game back then. The things that you think are, like, common sense easy plays now, people didn't really do those as much. I'm going to show you how it works. So, I Flamethrowered the Thundurus, and he Fire Fangs me. And the reason why he Fire Fanged me is because Fire Fang is super effective on Amoonguss. Now, Fire Fang's a base 55, which means super effective. It goes to 110. Technically, that's still weaker than Dragon Claw. Let's be realistic. Technically, that is still weaker than Dragon Claw. But people are stupid. It's the older formats, the metas, and the game itself is not nearly as advanced as you would like to think that it is. So, I took out his Thundurus, and I redirected him with Rage Powder into the Amoonguss, who he was targeting anyways. Let's be realistic. But, we got a, an Effect Spore Sleep onto the Garchomp. An Effect Spore Sleep into the Garchomp that all he had to do was just click Earthquake twice and he won. And remember, Spec 4 only works if you make contact, so it wouldn't have worked off Earthquake. So he sends in his Weavile here. He Fake Outs my Amoonguss, and he gets paralyzed from Effect Spore. He gets paralyzed from Effect Spore and takes Life Orb damage. So Amoonguss is going to flinch, has got Fake Outed, obviously. I'm going to be Flamethrowing that Weavile. Note that I'm using Flamethrower multiple times, especially against the Thundurus, because my other news Night is I don't want to miss. And we restore a little bit of health with Black Sludge. It's a Metagross time now. Metagross, I'm going to go for Flamethrower on that. Back in the day, it was... let me think. I don't think Metagross was weak to Dark yet. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is Gen 5, was that a thing? Or did that start in Gen 6? I think that started in Gen 6. That Steel started, stopped resisting Dark. But either way, I didn't want to miss a Night Days. So I just went for the Flamethrower, right? Pop his Air Balloon, take a little bit of Life Orb damage. Garchomp's still asleep, by the way. He Zen Headbutts my Zoroark. And the reason why I think he Zen Headbutted my Zoroark was I think he thought I was going to Rage Powder. And I was like, no. I don't need to Rage Powder every turn. Remember, Zoroark's a Dark type. I don't think he just raw Zen Headbutted my Zoroark. I think he thought that I was going to Rage Powder, and that's probably exactly what happened here. But, Synthesis is going to come out here. And, yeah, at this point, Night Days crits his Garchomp, because remember, that was the turn he had to wake up. Garchomp goes down, he Brick Breaks my Amoonguss, and you know I'm going to get that Effect Spore. You know that Effect Spore is going to put him to bed, and I'm going to Giga Drain. So, this game is the perfect example of a game I had no business winning. I got 3 Effect Spores, and all because he just clicked the wrong moves, because he didn't know the most optimal way to optimize his team. You obviously know that his team's better than mine. Thundurus, Garchomp, Metagross, Weavile are much better than, like, Hasty, Darmanitan, and Zoroark. But you know what I mean? Sometimes you win, sometimes you win. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Alright, so that was the first game that we have. We're going to look at the second game now, the one with Butterfree in it. This game was done January 27, 2013, so it's the start of the 2013 format. And you can see I'm still using remnants from past formats. I'm still using a Darmanitan, but now that we're in, like, White 2, I think, I have a flawless one. It took me a hot minute. This is one of the only perfect Pokemon I have. It's Jolly, it has full 6 IVs, and the rest of my Pokemon are even 6 IVs. Like, this Blissey right here, I'm pretty sure this Blissey's from, like, Gen 3. Because, like, Greg was the OT of the Blissey. This is the original Serene Grace Blissey. This is the original Serene Grace Blissey. You guys see me use it all the time. And we're going to be using a pretty cool Virizion set. I'm going to show you that. Let's going to look at this other guy's team. His Arcanine is not flawless, and it has moves. For his Flash Fire, too. Oh man, this guy's team's ridiculous. Anyways, we're going to show you guys a pretty cool, like, alright. So, I like to think that when it comes to being, innovative. I am definitely one of the types of people that likes to create my own meta and create my own combos and own teams and stuff like that, and really, you know, do a lot of the fun stuff that a lot of other players don't really do for themselves. A lot of people consider themselves good pilots of teams, but I like to consider myself someone that makes like the tech for himself and does a lot of cool stuff. And I remember playing this game and I thought I was the coolest person, because this was probably my first VGC game in like a few months, and I was like, dude, this is what it means to play VGC, and we're gonna hop into this one, and I'm gonna hope you guys like this game. So turn 1, right? Scarfed Darmanitan, EQ, double super effective, but we don't get the KO on anything with the Earthquake, and that's completely fine. I was not expecting to get any KOs there. We're gonna go for a Psychic on the Lucario. We're gonna take that out. Remember, Butterfree, Psychic, that's not the worst thing in the world. And here he's gonna Fire Fang my Butterfree. Now remember, alright, so Fire Fang Butterfree, that was completely fine. I don't even think Arcanine had Flare Blitz back then. But, so I want to show you guys this board position. Now, there's a few things that can happen. I could go for a Rage Powder Earthquake, finish off the Arcanine, chunk the Cobalion, but if he had E-Speed on that Arcanine, he could have E-Speeded my Butterfree and went for a, just a big close combat on my Darmanitan. And I would have lost 2 Pokemon for 1, right? And this is where one of the best combos in my team actually comes out, because this team was one that I used in an online competition. Let me actually just scroll down. I think this is an online competition game, right? I mean, this is just practice for one. But I used this idea in an online competition later that year. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to switch out Butterfree for Virizion. And Virizion's holding an item called the red card. And normally people like to use the red card to force out opponent's Pokemon, but I don't want my Darmanitan to die. So unfortunately, we crit my Virizion with my, with the Earthquake, but here we go. We're going to red card out. Yeah, you get the idea. So what happened was, he didn't have E-Speed. If he did, he would have just E-Speeded my Virizion and got red carded out, and whatever he brought in, which would have been his Lucer, would have been Earthquake anyway, which would have been totally fine. That would have been totally fine. But the cool thing about that whole like scenario that happened was I Earthquaked my Virizion because I knew Virizion was a grass type, I could resist it, and then I forced out my own Scarf Pokemon because I knew if I saved my Darmanitan for like one more turn, I'd be able to just automatically beat whatever he has in the back. So I forced out my own Pokemon with a red card on purpose, got to save, like, technically, worst case scenario, I would have lost 2 Mons that turn. I lost none and got a KO. And then we're just starting to fire off Focus Blast with a special attacker Virizion that has like red card and a bunch of other crazy stuff. So we see we get Thunder Fang by this Luxray, and then we're just going to start chunking with Flamethrowers. Serengrace Blissey dealing that massive amount of damage. Here's our Discharge here. And it's like a slower game. Like, Virizion's going to get paralyzed, I think. But, dude, I was feeling myself after that red card switch. Like, that was just the play, I felt. And I saved my Butterfree in the back, too. Like, Butterfree can totally come back in and do stuff later on in the game if it had to, but it did not have to. That was a pretty good game. I mean, that's what that's the type of stuff I originally brought to VGC, like redirection through the use of like Rage Powder potential with Butterfree, Sleep Powders, like proccing my own red card and stuff like that. That's what I originally started doing when I was like a newer VGC player. I wasn't just all about like sweeping people. I wanted to like style on people, and I thought that game was a pretty good example of that. Go to this next game. This next game is gonna be, let's see. Oh man, it's a Darmanitan mirror. What was this game played? This one is January 28th, 2013. Alright. This is a VGC 2013 game, and it's like new 2013, like this is still like earlier on in the meta. So here we go. Alright, so we see Darmanitan and Blissey. This is the special super Blissey versus Darmanitan and Excadrill. Let's see how this one goes. Alright, so we see Balloon Excadrill, and he's just going to withdraw. He does not want to eat a Flare Blitz from my most likely Scarf Darmanitan, and you know I'm popping that Flare Blitz. Archeops resists that. Remember, Archeops is a rock type, and he still takes massive damage. And I'm just realizing this guy's probably using a 2011 team, because all those mons are from VGC 2011. I mean, oh man, I just whiffed a Thunder. Dude, that's rough. I just whiffed a Thunder. Alright, so we lost Darmanitan for free, but it's okay. We got Ice Shard coming against Archeops. And I probably shouldn't have KO'd the Archeops there. I probably should have just fake out of the Darmanitan. But Archeops was probably going for Rock Slide as well. Even with its Defeatist active, it still would have probably killed Weavile with it. So we lose Weavile. We trade 1 for 1. But I think we're in a losing spot until I bring up Virizion. You could be thinking here that I'm going to lose. He has 3 Pokemon. I got Virizion, but I got Focus Blast. Remember, Special Sweeper Virizion, man. I loved this thing. I was such a fan of Virizion. It's the same Virizion. It's a complete same one here. And all those Mons happen to be weak to Focus Blast. All you gotta do is hit. All you gotta do is stab that Focus Blast. Super effective. He pops a Sandstorm trying to activate his own ability, so he can probably go for Iron Heads for flinches, which is definitely the right play. Like, going for the Sandstorm and then going for Iron Heads instead of just going for one Iron Head was probably the right play. But Focus Blast is too good. I didn't miss a single Focus Blast in any of these replays. That's sick. I mean, I love this Virizion set. I think my set was I had Focus Blast. I had Giga Drain. We could just check it. That's the good thing about PokeCheck. We can just check it. Let's can we scroll over? Yeah, you guys can see the Virizion. You can see its red card on the right above my camera. Toxic Focus Blast, Giga Drain, Taunt. Dude, that's amazing. Dude, I have like no EVs. Or sorry, I have like no IVs. Bro, I'm fully EV trained in special attack and special D. Nothing in HP. Oh my gosh, like, you guys can't see it, but I can see it. Oh dude, that's pretty hilarious. But yeah, dude, I love PokeCheck. I'm really happy that it's back, and it's just fun being able to highlight some of these games that have been lost time. So, do you guys have any games on PokeCheck? Were you guys big into you know, playing online back then in like the 2011, 2012, 2013 days? If so, let me know, and yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video going down memory lane, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.